All right, we have a guru who is going to be coming to talk to us about investment, manufacturing, and also I'm sure she's going to touch on that. Well, when we return, we'll go on a quick break, and let's say a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying tuned. All right, guys, who's ready for some real talk? Lolo, for you guys ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I got something real over the weekend, and I thought we could actually touch on it with our audience. On Sunday, Oprah Winfrey was granted a royal interview on the family of Prince and Meghan Markle, and the revelation from the royal family shocked quite a number of people, many that listened to at least some of the extraction of the interview. Part of the revelation were that Meghan just like Princess Diana and has begun, this nurturing suicidal thoughts. They accuse the royal family of racism, especially when it comes to the skin color of the child. It is likewise interesting to note that Prince Harry is 100% supportive of his wife Meghan and has chosen a side over the royal family. So in my head, I'm just thinking aloud. In Nigeria, they will say, witchcraft, and they like. What's your opinion on it, Lolo? Let me start with you.
This thing, it didn't start yesterday. The speculation started from the time that Diana died. Even all the events leading to her death. We have a lot of speculations that I'm yet to see where we'll put everything together and say this is what really happened before Diana died. We already know the bias of her dating somebody from Saudi, or that was there. In fact, we had all sorts of rumors like she was totally exterminated or killed by the royal family, though there were rumors at that time. But that was then. Now I see Meghan. Everybody celebrated their wedding. We were so excited. You know how many memes came up that, wow, a girl from this background would, marry up and get into the royal family. I thought she was going to sit down and everything would be pretty from then on, because the royal family is an inclusive family. They don't have racism. But alas, I began to see things fall apart just after their son was born. And I began to question myself that, but there's a matriarch over this household. Why are things going the way it's going? Even if there's a divide in the family, I thought that the queen would be like a unifying force, to bring everybody together. But it didn't happen. And that's quite shocking, as far as I'm concerned. So even with all these revelations, I'm wondering how a whole Prince of England would move out of the country just because there's no acceptance where he is. I'm wondering what's happening. It's mind-boggling. And I even heard that he was financially cut off. He said they couldn't even in the early times
of 2020.
Yes, and they couldn't even afford security. It's just funny.
Therefore, what's your submission on this?
The way I look at it, I'm like, before Meghan married Harry, I want to believe she knew what she was getting into, because we are talking about royalty.
Did she?
Yes. She probably didn't have the full picture, but at least she knew she was marrying, a prince. So, and you look at the royal family, it's an institution. They already have their laid down procedures as to how to go about things. And change is the only permanent constant, we know. But you can't just break away, from that. And besides, if Harry and Meghan say they want to go it on their own, fine, you want to be your own man. They're not going to be using the taxpayers' money in England, to foot his bills. If you want to be your own man, you're breaking away, then be your own man. You and your wife work, put your hands to work, and just go right ahead.
I find it a bit confusing, because as far as I'm concerned,
yes,
he's a son of the house. And whether we like it or not, I stand to be corrected.
Yes.
I think the monarchy is becoming like an institution that is getting
dying
old.
out.
It's dying out.
All right.
It's like witchcraft in Africa.
all right, Lola. I really don't agree with you on that. But at the end of the day, let me just quickly put my own 1 minute submission.
I was just going to say, what's your own?
Is that when you said that she was celebrated and she was castigated, she was judged from the beginning. That Harry and Meghan went public with their relationship. She was never accepted fully into that environment,
royal
into
family,
the royal family. So now, moving on into what you said, that, oh, she knew what she was entering into.
Yes.
I don't think she understood the full picture of it, because if she understood the full picture of it, she was saying she didn't even know that she had to curtsy in front of the queen the first day she met with her. So I'm asking, didn't your man, you know, give you some level of...
Exactly.
So there are quite a number of things that can draw from this, but, you know, this morning, watching the father's interview again coming out with everything that have transpired between them, I think this just gives me some level of comfort to say that at the end of it all, we all have family issues. We all have things that we are, you know, regardless of whoever you are, there will be one or two people in your family that you just want to say that, you know what, let me just be by myself. Let me just stay put with everything. But with everything that is going on, I thought that the father would draw some lessons from what has happened or what has transpired in the past between himself and his daughter, but he still went out to start saying all sorts and be talking about she didn't reach out to you, you didn't know that she was not mentally okay. All the time. You know, I think this should be a topic that we should bring on an episode so that we can all touch on it. Guys, let's go on a musical break. When we come back in a flash, let's listen to one of the music that I like the most about YJ. This YJ featuring Mona is so inspiring, and listen. Many thanks for staying tuned. Going into the topic of the day, as we all know, yesterday, 8th of March, was the International Women's Day. This day is a global day celebration. The social media and the economic and cultural political achievements of women were celebrated across globe yesterday. And it's so inspiring to see quite a number of people come out. And while there were wishes from the friends and family, the most important question to ask ourselves, especially we women, is, are we there yet? Because do we speak up enough? And when we speak, do we have this, oh, you're not supposed to say that? As a gender-based, will I say, gender-biased environment we have, do you think that we can eradicate this in our workplace, at homes and among ourselves and all of that? I mean, there's a lot to answer about the position of the modern woman and our roles in today's society, and this question and answer will be spearheaded the journey of which we're talking about today, about the women of tomorrow. And I can't help but ask you, Efo, what do you think about yesterday's celebration of International Women's Day? And I think the hashtag was I choose to challenge.
Yeah. Well, I think the celebration of the International Women's Day has come to stay. Whether you like it or not, the women are the bedrock, of the society, any given society. Okay. Time was when you say train a woman and you've trained the whole village. You understand? So I think it just behoves on us women to pull each other up, and trust me, before you know it, we'll get there. We're not there yet.
Okay, all right. Joining on today is our own very special guest. Let me put the missus in as well, that people will say, oh, she's Mrs. Adebola Adefile. She will be discussing the position and the future of women in our society. But before then, let's take a look at our guest profile. We'll be right back. Very inspiring, I must add. Yeah. With everything that is happening across the globe, I don't want us to touch on Meghan anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
This International Women's Day, do you actually think that we are there yet with everything that is happening, with women being, silenced?
I particularly love the theme for this year. I choose to challenge, because there's so much that a woman needs to challenge on a daily basis. We have to even challenge the gender bias that a woman is meant to be this way. A lot of people would find women like us like aberrations, because they feel our role is in the kitchen. Some people are still of that school of thought. Not to even talk about... Yes. Not to even talk about even those that manage to get away from that bias. They get to the workplace and it's still gender inequality. You put in as much work as a man will put in, and yet they still expect you, to be subservient, or they rate you lower than they will rate a man in the same caliber that you're in. Those are the things that we're challenging. We're even challenging, in fact, there's so much women are faced with on a daily basis. The fact that nobody wants to reckon with us, or in fact, if a woman is too assertive, they call you proud. They tell you, oh, you're just too loud, you're too this, you're too that. And those are things that we're facing. Look at what is happening to our children. The girl child in itself. Sexual molestations everywhere. So there's so much that a woman really needs to challenge on a daily basis. We're living with it. We're not there yet. But I'm so grateful if you look at the journey that we've been taking. It's been a long journey. But surely we're reaching somewhere eventually. We are.
Therefore, what's your take?
Yeah, for me, I think it's like Lolo rightly said, we're on a journey, you know, and every journey starts with a first step. And gradually, I think the world is beginning. We're not there yet, you know. I don't know if we're going to get there even in our lifetime just yet, you know, but we're going to start with the grooming of our girl child. It starts from the home, you know. Let them have, you know, some self-worth. Very important for them to have self-worth, you know. And this journey is a very long one. But I'm very, very happy that women are beginning to make their mark in the sands of time. You know, look at the likes of Okunja Iweala.
Yeah, she made history.
Oh, yes, you know. And she's making it easier for other women to come on board.
Sure.
I remember in one of her interviews, she rightly said that, you know, when she became the finance minister in Nigeria, she had opened the doors up for other women to excel. She's not a selfish being. She's not a selfish woman. You understand? So I think it's just a journey. We're just going to take our time, step by step along the way, and see how we can harness our potential.
All right, many thanks for that submission. Adebola, are you there now? Can you hear me, please? Yay! Thank God. Hi, Adebola.
Can you hear me?
All right, we're still in the spirit of celebrating women, and our conversation is still revolving around women, and of course you are a representative of the African woman, and the theme for this year is Choose to Challenge. So my first question is, what does it mean to choose to challenge? As a woman, I quite understand the destination is far, but the journey has started. Are we even challenging ourselves, Adebola?
I think for me, first of all, thanks for having me here this afternoon. I'm glad to be here. I think for me, the idea of choosing to challenge anything is just standing for something, is being able to stand up for something that you believe strongly in, something you believe should be that is not as it is, as it should be. So that for me will be what choose to challenge means. And if you ask, are we challenging anything? I think the women are beginning to challenge a lot of things, because I know on social media yesterday, it was everyone just saying what they were challenging, what it is they're standing up for, and all of that. But I want to believe that the woman today is challenging a lot of things and actually standing for what she believes in, if you ask me.
Lolo.
All right, thank you very much. You know, I'm always particularly excited when I see women that are, you know, pushing the ceiling and doing business. A lot of, you've been doing business for quite some time. And one of the things I know about the manufacturing the manufacturing industry in Nigeria is that it's a tough call. In fact, some years, I know some manufacturers that have exited the nation to take, you know, solace in other neighboring countries because of the hardship of being able to produce their products at affordable cost. So how have you been able to, you know, stand those through all those kinds of challenges?
Honestly, Lolo, I'm almost calling you Adaku.
Feel free.
Honestly, if you ask me, business around the world fail for different reasons, ranging from either poor funding.
All right. I think why they're trying to connect.
And she was just about to make a very beautiful point.
You know, with everything that is up. All right, Debola, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I was saying that all over the world, businesses fail for different reasons. You know, it could be from poor funding or to poor management. But in our own part of the world, the statistics are alarming. I mean, from policy somersaults, from instability, just a whole lot of things. You wake up and there 101 things staring at you just to make you fail. But again, if you ask that, how have we been able to keep at it all this while? It's been rough. But again, I'm in a space where my vision for my company is legacy. I mean, my father is handing over this to me. I want to also be able to hand it over to my children in future. So that, I think, keeps me going. There are days when I just want to pack up. There are days when I'm having conversation with my parents and I'm saying, are we sure we are doing the right thing? Does this make sense at all? But again, even in these challenges, we find strength, we find resilience, we find that tenacity to just keep going. You know, there are times when some of my friends are asking, just keep going, that you keep talking about, Bola. There are companies that are shutting down. I say it, companies are shutting down. But again, I just want to try as much as possible to focus on the good. We have a lot of things that are just here to discourage you. There are a lot of things that you see every day that tells you you're in the wrong space, you're in the wrong environment, you're in the wrong country, you know, to run this kind of business. But again, in that same environment, I find that we have the population to drive business. I find that we have that resilient spirit. Nigerians are naturally resilient. We have that resilient spirit to keep going no matter what. And we still have some stories that are good anyways. We still have companies that have been here for more than 30, 40, 50 years. So why not my company as well? You know, so those are the things that keep me going on.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to have you, Adebola. Yeah. So I was just going to ask you, 20 years of being an entrepreneur is not a mean feat at all. So how have you been able, what's the secret of your success in spite of the obvious challenges that we have in our peculiar country? Could you just tell the viewers what the actual secret is? That it keeps, yes, you're keeping your focus, I know, but what keeps you really going?'t you?
We have no other choice. Truthfully, there is no secret. I just have no other place. I'm pan-Nigeria. Is that bad? You know, I believe so much in this country. I'll tell you for a fact that while I was doing my MBA, before I wrote my last exam, I bought my ticket out of London. I knew I was going to come back to this country. I'm so pro Nigeria, even if, you know, we get discouraged every now and then. So there's really no, I won't say there's a secret that keeps me going, but I think that resolute of, you know what, we have to just keep at it. We have to just keep going. I mean, we sit down here, we see foreigners come into our country and make something out of our country. So why not we? Why not, you know, it's not easy to say. There are days when you're cussing out, you know, the whole environment and you're just wondering, why are we, you know, in this kind of system? But I would say maybe what keeps me going is the fact that I just have that genuine belief. I have this belief that it will be good. It won't always be like this. It won't always be bad. Again, when you're having this discussion, someone tells you, look at 10 years ago. We're not as, 10 years ago was not as worse as what it is today. But again, why do we keep going? We have no other place. I mean, I can't carry my factory and go to the UK. I can't carry my factory and go to the US. I have over 300 and something, I have about 370 people working in van route at the moment. If you pack up and go, that's 370 families feeding from one business. I mean, so let's just keep at it. So there's really no secret. It's just the fact that this is what I have come to do. My mentality is legacy. I must be able to turn in this to the next generation. A generation gave this to me. I should be able to give it to the next generation, no matter how hard and difficult it is. We can still make sense of the business. At least we're still standing.
All right, Debola, listening to you, I know that there's no ease of doing business in Nigeria. And in an economy like this that is of Nigeria, where factors of production such as power supply is absolutely frustrating. Companies like Cadbury, PZ at a time had to they relocated their production facility to Ghana and neighboring countries. So as a manufacturer and a CEO of your organization, how have you been thriving, in the midst of all the, there's no power supply, and you have over 300 people to pay salaries to monthly? I actually thought I have over 30 people paying salary, but listening to you, Sheikh Berara, please tell us.
Come again, Kike. What do you want to you asked the question about how we've been going. Can you come again?
So I'm saying that have you been thriving in the midst of all the things that is happening right now when it comes to frustration of power supply, and quite a number of companies like Cadbury and PZ who relocated their companies to Ghana or another neighboring country. So what's that thing that you think that it's helping you thus far? Because I know that she asked that what keeps it going, and listening to your response saying that you have over 300 people that you have to pay monthly, I just had to freestyle about it to say that I used to think that I had people that I have to pay, but yeah, my senior in that regard. So school me, let me hear you.
I think what I will say is, first off, believe it or not, we're losing money. We've been losing money, for the past 2-3 years now. But I will say what has kept us, as a company is that from day one, we've been very conservative. Conservative in terms of our spending, conservative in terms of our running the business generally. We're even conservative with hiring. If I say we have 300 people, this is a factory that runs 2 shifts, morning and night. You can't see anyone just lying idle. So it's a place where you have one person doing a job of 2-3 people, right? We have a lot of casual workers. So, and that adds up to the number of people who work in our company. But what I would say has kept us is the fact that we've also enjoyed some form of growth. We started very, 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 very basic. We started just, very conservative as well. And we took it in our strides. It wasn't like we felt, okay, it's a manufacturing company and just go hula baloo and employ 300 people. We didn't start with 300 people. The manufacturing arm is 14 years going. We started with 35 people. And by the time we started to grow, this is a company that produces product that goes, it's nationwide. We have a brand representation in all the 6 states. We've got distributors all over. We've got even some of our distribution in some neighboring West African countries as well. So, but we're very conservative in terms of hiring, in terms of spending. Another thing is that it's not only maybe bad governance or poor environment that can actually ruin a business. Also, what is going out of that business? Where are the leakages? Where are where are those spots that you're actually not concentrating on that can actually affect the business in the long run? So we're hands-on, and that's another thing that you can take from us. Right now, I'm in the factory. I'm always at the factory. If I don't have any business in any other state and I'm in Abuja, I have to be at the factory. So I'm pretty much hands-on with the factory. So it's pretty much just being that conservative entrepreneur and being, in the doing of the business. If you're here every day, if you're in your business every day, you know what to tweak, you know what to change, you know how to move fast, you know how to react, you know how to even be proactive. When you see, that there's danger ahead. There are times when, if you've spent some time in your business, you can actually tell, that's what's going to happen to me in the next 2 months. So how do I prepare for it? How do I ensure that I don't, fall into that trap? There are times when you find out that the challenges you have faced maybe 5 years ago, it comes back again in another way, but because you've done it before and you've overcome it, you know how to, handle the challenge again the next time it raises its ugly head. So I would say pretty much is being conservative, being very prudent as well, and being very, on hands-on in the business as well. And it's still a very small business.
Yes, Demola, while you were talking, I cannot help but talk about the factors of production. I know capital is vital, and I tell people that I have not approached the banks or any microfinance houses before to fund my business operation. But I know that the terms are hard and unfavorable for many entrepreneurs, like you. I have been able to source and expand your business.
Okay. So starting the business, we didn't start our business with loans. I mean, we started with the basic. We started with Chinese machines. I mean, I share this story everywhere. We started with Chinese machines. And when we were going to start the business, our focus was Abuja and environs. We're not even thinking Lagos. We're not thinking we're not thinking Port Harcourt. We just felt, you know what, we're in the north. Let us just have machines that can produce products for the north. And first year of the business was a loss. But I mean, again, that's a given in any business you want to do. When you're starting off, you get that, the initial hiccups. So, second year, we started to make some sense of the business. By the third year, we realized that we had reached to about 9 states. And at some point, we realized that our machines that we were using at the time couldn't do more than the 9 states that we were serving. And the market was beckoning for more. And, and it takes me back to where I say, there's still something that is good about our country. We have population to drive business. So by the time we realized that market is asking for more, but the machines we have cannot do more. At that point, that was when we said, let's go and do, let's go bank to borrow. And we went to bank. Of course, the pricing is right. The interest rate is favorable. So what we did was we went to Bank of Industry. We wanted to upgrade our machines. And after we got the loan from the Bank of Industry, we were able to upgrade our machines where we're now able to serve, the whole country and some of the West African countries. Now, in going to Bank of Industry, how were we able to secure that loan? We didn't know anybody. It wasn't like we bribed anybody. There was nothing like that. It was more or less like, what were your books for the first 5 years? Okay, first year was a loss. Second year, let us see some progress. Third year, and these are some things that some entrepreneurs don't put into consideration. You're starting a business and you're saying whatever the name of the business is, but you're saying that Bola Adefila is drawing money out of it today. Tomorrow it is Kiton Adefila that is going to go and draw money out of it. So when banks see things like that, they don't take you serious. And some of us, we start our business not even having tidy books. So you don't have an accountant that keeps records, what is going in, what is coming out. These were the things that the banks checked to give us loan. And that was how we upgraded our machine. Even at the point where the first recession hit, and I say this to most of the entrepreneurs that attend my class, even when the first recession hit, it was more or less like bringing us down to almost ground zero, because when you're having 170 naira to $1, and overnight it becomes 360 to $1. I mean, that just tells you that 50% of your capital is gone, right? So we had to go back to the bank. Your books were not even looking good then, but you had an argument. You had, something to back it up. You had an explanation for why your book is now looking like this. This is a recession. This is how much we were buying raw materials before. Now we're buying raw materials at so amount. This is why we need more inflows. These are things that entrepreneurs must get to do. Keep your books tidy, keep your records clean. And that way, you want to go and approach the bank, you have something, that you can show. Of course, collateral is always an issue here. And you can't want to have this kind of business, this magnitude, size of the business and not have something to keep, and again, to have as a collateral. We're in a system where we don't even have data, you don't have record keeping. So you can say you're in one address today and tomorrow you pack up. So you won't blame the banks if they're insisting on having a collateral for some certain kind of loans. And that was how we're able to, get the loans from the bank. And after we got the loan from the bank, we're able to bounce back, we're able to, pay back also. Another thing is that there are times when people take these loans, but they're able to pay, but they're not even willing to pay. So we're not talking about those who are willing to pay now.
Adebola, I just want to cut you a little, just for a minute, because I like the your train of thoughts at this particular time. And I'm just wondering, because you've reeled out a lot of business, I can see nuggets here and there. And I know that you do trainings. But one of the things that we've grappled with in Africa is that African women seem to know how to do business at a very, they start small, but they seem to hit a ceiling in their business that doesn't go beyond, domesticated kind of business. And now, the new challenges of the 21st century is how to expand the horizon for women to be able to take their business to the great expansion that it ought to be. So tell me, if you had to teach a class and tell maybe rural women in, let's say, the south of Zamfara, how would they be able to take their business from that parlor business they're doing even to that great business that they can have potential to do?
Most of the time, this thing takes, it requires mentoring. And a lot of this women, it's not like they don't want to expand their business, but they haven't found anyone to show them the route, to tell them how. So let me say, for instance, I'm talking to someone who is producing maybe skincare products. So you have started producing skincare products. Who are you selling to? Where's your value chain? How are you handling the value chain? It will surprise you to know that some distributors that we have use that same business money, and they've expanded such that they're even able to send their children abroad to school. We have distributors that from their distributive trade, they're able to fund, the education of their children abroad, not even locally. So the thing is, it's more of mentoring and letting them know how to keep record and when to scale up. Some people just, another thing is that exposure. Where they are limited, their thinking, their mindset, what they're exposed to limits their reasoning, limits their how far they can think about their business. So when they have a mentor, when they have someone who is able to show them the way, it's going to be easy for them to expand and see possibilities, in expanding the business that they're running. So it's more or less like mentoring these women, the rural women, showing them where they can actually be if they continue this way, showing them how they can actually get out of that box of, oh, I'm just in my village and I'm running this business. Showing them how, you can turn this 5 cartons today, you can turn it to 10 cartons. You can turn 10 cartons today to 50, but how? Okay, so you're distributing to ShopRite today. Can you take it to another store? Can you expand your value chain? So now you're in the local market, you're in the supermarket. Can you extend it to the organization, to corporate bodies? How can you package it? If you've been packaging it for the villagers, now if you want to come to the city, this is how you package the same product. Just showing, getting someone who is able to mentor them and show them the way on how to expand their business, really.
Thank you. I wish we could go on a break, but I'm just enjoying all the schooling and of course I'm learning as you speak as well. But let's deviate a little bit. Your book titled, you are how to turn your idea into profitable business, correct? Tell us more about it and why it is a must read for our viewers, for those listening to us right now.
So the reason I wrote profit for 2 reasons. Now, I've been doing the live classes and I've been having live classes and online classes. And I realized that there's some people that might not be able to afford, coming for my live classes or my online classes. And I decided, how about I put this in a book to show them, just how you get it from the idea stage to execution to actually now making profits. And that was the first reason I wrote the book. Secondly, I realized that there's so many business books outside there, right? But how many books tell us about our own environment? So we have business books from Harvard, we have business books from entrepreneurs all over the world, but how many entrepreneurs in Nigeria can you actually read from? Can you actually learn from? So in Profit, my book Profit, you get to even read interviews with some industry giants that I interviewed. You get to read interviews from some companies that were existing before and are no more, such as Okim Biscuits. You get to learn a bit of what happened why are we not seeing them again? What went wrong? You get to read interviews from Mrs. Bukwawo Shika, also in Profit, where she's able to share her own part of how entrepreneurship has been for her. You get to read stories from entrepreneurs from Ghana, from entrepreneurs like Farm Fresh as well. Farm Fresh is a product that is still existing after so many years. So how have you been able to do it? So Profit is actually that. The second reason was for us to learn business as our own, in our own environment. Yes, marketing in the UK is different from marketing when I enter Okari Market. Marketing in New York is different from marketing when I enter Aba. So, even in Profit, there was a chapter that spoke about how the Yoruba man thinks about his profit, how the Igbo man reacts to distribution, how the Hausa man sees distribution. Just for us, bringing it home and making it real. These things are easy when it is relatable, when you can actually say, oh, this is what will work for me. This is what I should look out for. This is my environment. This is what is peculiar to my environment.
Adebola, I am very impressed by what I have heard. I've learned quite a bit. And I'm looking at it. We're talking about you. We're talking about your industry. Where does the government come in? Because you pay taxes. So if you were to advise government, for instance, you have all these laudable ideas. What would you be saying to government at this time? It's not enough to bring that rural woman from the south of Zamfara, like Lolo said, to Lagos. It's capital intensive. So what would you be telling the government? Because they certainly have a role to play. Okay. They tax you heavily. So what would you be saying to the government at this time? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. That's a fantastic question. What I'll be saying to the government at this time is, first of all, our institutions are in deplorable conditions. We are practically our own government. I mean, we are job creators, and we're taxed so heavily. Policy somersault is a problem. Double taxation is a problem. You just want to get, I want to get a 40-foot container load of tissue paper from Abuja to Aba. The truck driver gets to Kogi State. He's just passing through Kogi. He will pay for local government papers for Kogi. He gets to Aba. He pays for local government papers for Aba, and it's crazy, right? And I don't understand if I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty much tired of saying something to the government, because you keep saying these things and it's like they're just not listening, or they're just I don't understand. Last year during COVID, when COVID just started, we had about over 55 containers of raw material stuck at the port for over 4 months, for reasons not known to any one of us. Just the fact that Apapa Port is jam-packed. There is some disorganization at Apapa Port. As Apapa Port stands as we speak, when they're going to inspect your raw materials, they inspect your goods. We're still doing physical inspection. In Nigeria of today, 2021, for crying out loud, we're still doing physical inspection. So I have 55 containers. How long will it take to physically inspect those containers? I mean, in other countries, the containers just go through a scanner. So we need infrastructure. Is important. We can't overemphasize the need for our government to invest in infrastructure. Infrastructure is important. We need. When you say ease of doing business, please make sure it is truly ease of doing business. Don't tell us that you've created ease of doing business, and the next thing we're hearing is, oh, we have reduced the amount of registering your business. The typical entrepreneur doesn't mind registering his business for 500,000, but please, can you make me to run that business with ease? If you tell me that registering my business is part of the ease of doing business, or you reduced it from 100,000 to 50,000, that's not my problem. My problem is actually running that business. So I run 2 shifts, and I'm having to consume almost 45,000 liters of diesel in every 6 weeks or 8 weeks. So now NEPA gives you, okay, it's PHCA right now. They give you light. They've increased the tariff. So even in a month of not even producing so much, you're spending almost 3 million naira to just make sure that you have light. It's crazy. There are a lot of things that I have to say to the government, but I've gotten to a point where I'm actually tired of speaking to the government, because I think they see these things. They travel, for crying out loud. They're exposed. They see these things in other countries. Why can't it work? It's not rocket science for us to have scanners at Apapa ports. Apart from Apapa ports, can other ports start working efficiently? I mean, so there's so many things where I just say that entrepreneurs right now, we are our own government, we do everything ourselves. And we're just waiting patiently till the time Nigeria gets to that green land.
And I hope that you'll be able to answer me in a minute, because I know business coaches like you are good with foresight. So my question to you right now, what advice do you have to give to women entrepreneurs like you, you know, that to stay relevant in their business?
What I would say is, first off, create a product of value. Be it products or services, make sure you're giving something that has value. Don't just create, we've moved out of that space where you can just create anything and expect everybody to buy. Nigerians are now more aware. People are now getting more aware of what they want to consume. So create a product of value. Be prudent. Be accountable. You know, be conservative as possible, because you don't know what is going to hit you tomorrow. You don't know what's going to hit your business next tomorrow. So you want to be conservative as possible. You want to be prudent. You want to, you really want to be focused, you know, really, really focused. Everything is happening everywhere. So just be focused on that goal of growing your business. So create a product of value, be accountable, have a tidy book, and be conservative in running your business.
So much. Before you go, there's another challenge that I see that entrepreneurs face, and that is maintaining standard. How does that happen? How do you grapple with maintaining standard? You've been in business for a while. How do you sustain your standard? We see it everywhere in Nigeria. They start very good quality, and it goes down.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. And one thing I want to say to the entrepreneurs that are listening, when you maintain your standard, it keeps you in the game for a long time, even when it is hard. So no matter how difficult it is, what you just highlighted now, Lolo, people need to know that whatever it will take for them, let them know that they have to maintain their standard. Now, the challenges of maintaining standards is, so in case your suppliers change, you know, their products, or they have issues. At the moment, I just got news from one of our secondary suppliers that they've run out of material. But again, I'm not dependent on that guy alone. I have another person who also can supply me the same secondary material, but is the quality the same? Yes. So what we have to do is having that quality control system in our business, that quality control system that checks, you know, even if it looks like it's more profitable for you to give us a substandard, what you should be looking at is the longevity of your business. You know, there's some products I will call today, you know that, how do they say, I will say it in Yoruba, no matter what, when you buy that product, it is just the way it is. It has always been like that, and that's how it has always been. So what I'll say, it's a painful path, but it's more rewarding when you maintain your standard. And in maintaining your standard is for you to have a quality control system that is actually accountable for what goes out of the company. There are days when, you know, your eyes will not see everything. You might have issues one way or the other, but retracting those things too is also in building a system, building a structure that helps you to be able to, you know, monitor what goes out of the company.
Coming on the show at Debola, you have spoken from a place of authority as an entrepreneur, a business manager, an author, and most importantly, as a woman. Many thanks for gracing the show, and of course, you know, honoring my invitation.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so it was indeed all talk from our guest today. She's been able to educate us when it comes to, you know, manufacturing, you know, ease of doing business in Nigeria, tax, payments, you know, and a whole lot of things that she's been able to touch. And I hope that a lot of people will go out there to actually purchase our book. Lolo, what do you have to say in 30 seconds?
I wouldn't lie, I've been writing down everything. She said a lot. One of the things that stood out for me is her great expectation, her resilience, her loyalty, and, you know, the ability to build from the scratch keep it going. Those are women that we want to see them put a voice out there. These are the mentors I want my girl child to have, and not just only us in entertainment. We have to be able to mentor our girl children. in all facets of life.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that, Lolo. Just before we go, consider this thought. Imagine if it wasn't COVID-19. Imagine if it was the world coming to an end. What decision or will you regret that you didn't take as a woman, as an entrepreneur? You know, could it be a business decision or even anything at all that you could have talked about, but you never executed it? This is the time to actually facilitate any thoughts that cross to mind.
Yeah.
Till we come your way next on Thursday, keep being real. Bye now.
Bye.